Very good morning. வாழ்க வளத்துடன். Welcome to the national level 5-day faculty development program on navigating the future with cutting edge technology through research and innovation. உடையார் முன் இல்லார் போல் ஏக கற்றுள் கற்றார் கடையாரை கல்லாதவர். அதாவது அறிவுடையார் முன் அறிவில்லாதவர் போல் தாழ்ந்து நின்று மேலும் கற்றுக்கொள்பவர்களின் ஆர்வத்தை கற்றுக்கொள்ளாதவர்கள் கடைநிலை மாந்தராக கருதப்படுவார்கள் என்று வள்ளுவர் கூறியுள்ளார். So that we are learning. Now, I would like to invite Mr. R. Balaji sir, Assistant Professor of Commerce SF, to introduce our chief guest. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, Ananda, and a warm welcome to our second day of PPP program. I feel very honored to introduce Dr. T. Vijayakumar sir, Associate Professor of Economics, V.H.N.S.N.College. Sir completed a UG program, BA Economics in Madurai Kamarajar University, Madurai. Sir completed MS Development Economics and M.Phil in Pondicherry University, Pondicherry. Sir worked as a professor more than 15 years in our college, and sir organized a workshop, two workshop, and participated more than 22 programs in workshop. Sir delivered a guest lecture program, more than 22 programs, and acted as a resource person in more than 6 programs. And sir granted UGC granted rupees 2,85,000 to minor research project. And a special one, sir acted as a master trainer in Indian Census Population 2011 at Virudhunagar Taluk office. It is a special one to Indian Academy. Thank you. And now I hand over a session to Dr. T. Vijayakumar sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Very good morning, friends. So I am Vijayakumar from Department of Economics, Virudhunagar, Virudhunagar. I think that yesterday's session was started with designing of questionnaire and ending with entering the data in SPSS. So today I am going to give a practical hands-on training experience in SPSS. How we can use some of the basic statistical tests with the help of using SPSS. So before getting to our SPSS topic, I would like to recall that the measurement scales what you have learned yesterday's program. Actually, we have qualitative variable and quantitative variable, isn't it? We have qualitative and quantitative. Normally in statistics, the qualitative variable is also playing a more important equal to quantitative. So we have to measure both the variable according to the quality of data. I will explain with some of the examples. Suppose I ask my son to buy cooking oil from the grocery shop. What will be the next question from my son's side? Other than that, quantity in liters. Suppose I ask my son to buy a rice, what will be the question? Kilogram. I ask to buy the unstitched cloth for me, what will be the meter? So normally there are different types of measurement for different types of products. So like that, our qualitative variable and qualitative data and quantitative data also having some different types of measurement scale. I will recall the scale, then we will go for hypothesis testing, and then we will go for application oriented statistics. Actually, there are 4 scales are available. Yes. Yes. So these are the 4 types of scale. We are, with the help of this scale, we can be able to measure the data. The first one is nominal. You might be learned in yesterday's afternoon session, isn't it? Nominal is called as nominal scale is meant only for identification purpose. Just we are assigning roll number to our students. Suppose I am entering into that first MA class and asking that stand up please, roll number 5 please stand up. Who will stand up? Sometimes Anita will stand up. Suppose I am going to second MA class and ask roll number 5 will stand up. And who will stand up? Some Anita will be stand up. So here the roll number will be only for identification purpose, not for any other purposes. It can be used in our questionnaire wherever means male, female, gender. We are going to differentiate the gender, male population, female population. Suppose religion, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, and region, rural, urban, semi-urban. So in these cases, we have to measure those variables as a nominal scale. In the scale which measure we have to measure with the help of nominal scale. So the number allotted for those variables is only for identification purpose, not for any calculation purposes. If you are calculating the number, the result will be the false one. Just only for the identification purpose. So this is a qualitative variable, male, female, region, religion. So these are all the qualitative variable. So qualitative variable also playing some important role at the time of doing statistics. So we have to identify and we have to measure that variables also. So that variables can be measured with the help of nominal scale. And followed by that ordinal, we know that ordinal is the ranking scale. We used to give ranking. You maybe know that ranking, wherever the ranking is there, say for example, educational qualification, Ph.D, M.Phil, PG, UG, we can do the rank. And we can give we can measure that the qualification with the help of ordinal scale. And the third one, interval scale. Here is the data, the measurement data with equal intervals between the value. That means that 5-point scale, you may be known that 5-point scale, 7-point scale, 9-point scale, 11, 13 on the scale set. So to measure those type of data, the interval between 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5 is equal. So that's the equal interval. Last one is a ratio scale. Actually, the continuous data can be measured with the help of ratio scale. Examples like age of the persons, income of the persons, expenditures of the particular person, and we can say the savings of the persons. So these are the data are continuous data. So wherever the continuous data are coming in our procedure, we can measure the. So only these four scales are available to measure the level of data. So with the help of the scale only, we can be able to identify the data. So which will come under nominal scale and which will come under ordinal, interval, and ratio scale. So this is the base. If we thorough only, we will go for the other one. So after completing the level of measurement of scale, the another one is hypothesis testing. So most of the people know about what is hypothesis. What do you mean by hypothesis? Hypothesis. What do you mean by hypothesis? So mostly the students used to speak that used to tell that hypothesis is a tentative statement. It's not a permanent statement. Actually, in social science research, we used to frame the hypothesis. The reason behind that is, what is the need for framing the hypothesis in social science research? True or not, good man. But why we have to check? Actually, I like to say that we are conducting the research with human beings. We are not conducting the research with chemicals or plus or minus or some other things. We are conducting the research with human beings. Normally, we can say that random behavior of human beings are there. Random behavior. In some places, the particular person will act differently. In some other places, the same particular person act will be different. So we are conducting the research with the human. So there may be a chances for biasness. So if a researcher is a biased researcher, the research result will come to the false conclusions. So the researcher should not be a biased researcher. So maximum in social sciences, we used to frame the hypothesis to check whether it is correct or not. And one more thing is, the researcher should not be a biased researcher. I will explain. Who is your favorite heroine, sir? Heroine? So okay. Favorite hero? Vijay. So automatically Vijay don't say, automatically you are a biased. Automatically you are biased. And if I am biased. So this is called as bias. So normally all the researchers are biased researchers. But at the time of doing research, we should not be a biased one. We should not go for one side is favor and another side is unfair. We should be a judge. So for that purpose, we used to frame the hypothesis. And normally there are different types of hypotheses are there. Null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, directional hypothesis, non-directional, simple hypothesis, and complex hypothesis. Normally in social science research, we used to take only null and alternative. Directional, some places it will be work. And simple hypothesis also we are used to take in our research. So the null hypothesis is always stated with H0 and alternative hypothesis is always stated with H1. And the null hypothesis always says that there is no significant difference, and the alternative hypothesis always say that there is a significant difference. So based upon the significance level, we can accept or reject the null or alternative hypothesis. So this hypothesis, what is hypothesis, when it will be rejected, when it will be accepted. Yes. Now we will go for application oriented side. Actually, to find the difference between two variables, we will go for using t-test. We will go for using the t-test. Yes. There are in t-test family, there are three types of t-tests are there. The first one sample t-test. The second one, independent sample t-test, and third one, earth sample t-test. In all the tests, only we can able to measure two variables at a time. We can't go for more than one variable. Only two variables only we can able to measure it. In independent sample t-test, the samples are independent, like male, female, college X, college Y. So like that. In per sample t-test, the same group of population measured before and after. Before the training program, after the training program. So this is a different. So whenever the t-test can be applied, first we should be identified whether we can apply independent sample t-test or per sample t-test. First we should be identified. The one sample t-test is also available, but nowadays the one sample t-test the researchers are not using the one sample t-test. They are only using independent and dependent. I'm going to explain the independent and dependent t-test. Yes, I have some example based upon our participants discipline. I have some example. The t-test, the application of t-test in history. First, let's start with history. In history subject or in history discipline, you can say that comparing different time periods. Say for example, a historian might use the independent t-test to compare the economic indicator like literacy rate or other measurable value between two distinct time periods to understand the changes over the time. Say like எப்படி சொல்லலாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா சோழா பீரியட்ல எப்படி இருந்துச்சு அந்த பீரியடுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்தவங்களுக்கு எப்படி இருந்துச்சு. You can use the t-test. Or some places before independence க்கு முன்னாடி whatever the level of GDP, after the independence level of GDP. Or new economic policy introduced பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி what is the level of GDP indicators etc. After introducing the new economic policy, what will be the level? So in those places in the history side we can use the t-test. And say another one, cultural and social studies. Comparing cultural or social metrics between different region or group, like comparing birth rate between urban and rural area in historical context. So, and health and epidemiology. Comparing the health indicator like mortality rate or diseases prevalence between the two populations or two time periods to understand the health trends in history. So mostly in the olden days, the prevalence of diseases is more. It was more in olden days. So you can compare that. So which period the diseases will be more and which will be very less. So in history side we can apply the t-test in this area. And in the field of English, and some participants are also from English side, right? Yes, in English. Here, comparing reading comprehension levels. See, researcher can compare the reading comprehension level of two different groups. Say for example, the people completed their school level education from metric. The another group of people completed their school level education from Tamil medium. You can compare that. And another one, analyzing the writing skill. Say, with the help of traditional method and the digital learning environment. So we are providing these two skill, I mean that two method to evaluate the writing skill of the students. And literacy preferences. Say for example, the preference of different genders on literature between two groups, such as male and female readers. And to understand there is a significant difference in reading taste. It's normal. Normally, gender difference is there for all the places. Now, male opinion reveal பண்றதுக்கும் female reveal பண்றதுக்கும் normally difference is there. So like that. So ஒரு boy students படிச்சு பார்த்துட்டு ஒரு literature படிச்சு பார்த்துட்டு அவர் கொடுக்குற ரிவ்யூ gender differences வச்சு நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். And the effective teaching method, lecture based method based இருக்கா, project based method best இருக்கான்றதையும் நம்ம இங்கிலீஷ்ல யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். T-test. And particularly in microbiology. Microbiology ல நிறைய பேர் வந்திருக்கா சொல்லிட்டாங்க. Yes. Microbiology பாத்தீங்கன்னா two different bacterial strains are species under the specific condition to determine if there is a significant difference in their growth pattern. So these two different species வச்சு நம்ம T-test apply பண்ணி பார்த்துக்கலாம். அடுத்து அதுல பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா yes, antibiotic effectiveness. The independent T-test can be used to compare the effectiveness of different antibiotic and bacterial population by measuring inhabitation shown and bacterial counts. பாத்தீங்கன்னா வேக்சின் டெவலப்மெண்ட் இப்போ நம்ம எல்லாரும் பார்த்துப்போம் கோவேக்சின் கோவிஷீல்டு அதுலயே பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்க்ரூட்னிக்ஸ் சொல்லி ஒரு இது வந்துச்சு டிஃபரெண்ட் டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் வேக்சினேஷன் எல்லாம் வந்துச்சு அவங்களுக்குள்ளே ஒரு எஃபெக்ட் பார்த்துக்கலாம் ரெண்டு இதை எடுத்து கம்பேர் பண்ணி பார்த்துட்டு which vaccination will be the good one அப்படிங்கறத பார்க்கலாம் அல்லது which will be give the more health benefit அப்படிங்கறத நம்ம இந்த மைக்ரோபயாலஜி லெவல்ல பார்க்கலாம். And some of the participants also come from information technology. Am I right? The first one, for those who come from IT, performance testing, comparing the performance of two different software programs. IT to the thing, IT. Sorry. Max IT. So software program performance compare பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். So ரெண்டு software program. So அது எது differences இருக்குது அதோட performanceல எது பெஸ்டா இருக்குது எது கம்மியா இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கலாம். The usability studies like evaluating the user experience of two different interfaces by comparing user satisfaction score, task completion time or error rates. So information technologies also can use the T-test. After that, e-learning effectiveness, comparing the effectiveness of different online platforms methods by measuring student performance or engagement levels. So nowadays, most of the students and most of the faculties are going for online platform only for studying or gathering the material. So we can use the T-test in information technology in this field also. And cyber security, comparing the detection rate of different antiviruses to determine which one offer better protection against a threat. We used to have the K7 antiviruses there. So number of different types of antiviruses there, you can compare it. So which will be the best one? K7 or some other things. So we can use the T-test in those fields also. And some participants also come from sports, isn't it? Sports from the other task man. Sports they are okay. So sports everything have been performance comparison. Athletes from two different teams or training program to determine. It's ரொம்ப simple. So training program or athletic or coach training கொடுக்கிறதுக்கும் another coach training கொடுக்கிறதுக்கும் there may be a different. So you can measure with the help of the T-test. Or the injury recovery. There are different rehabilitation programs by comparing the recovery times or performance levels of injured athletes before and after treatment. So mostly the players are got injured while they are playing the games. So the recovery is the most important one for athletes or any sports player. So you can use that T-test in this way also. And training method is there, environmental is there, gender study is there. You can skip another one. Yes, application in the field of social sciences. Wherever the T-test can be applied, the possible areas are psychological studies. Analyzing the different psychological measures such as stress level, cognitive abilities, or behavioral response between the two distinct groups, like those receiving different therapies. So to psychological level we can apply. In sociology, examine the social variables such as income, employment rate, or between the two demographic group, right? Like urban and the rural population. In gender studies, also in criminology, analyzing the crime rate between groups subjected to different legal intervention or rehabilitation program. In market research, also we can use the t-test, like evaluating the consumer preference, spending habit, satisfaction level between the different customer segments. So these are all the areas we can apply the t-test, both independent and dependent. I have taken these examples for independent sample t-test. Yes. So this is the hands-on, the hands-on time. This is the example. A statistical test is conducted to compare the result of undergraduate students of two colleges, X and Y. The college name is X and another college name is Y. 16 students of X and 18 students of Y are selected and the test is conducted. The marks of selected students are as follows. We will go through that. So for that, I have framed the hypothesis, null and alternative. The first null hypothesis states that the average mark of the students of two colleges are equal. So normally the null hypothesis starts with equal. There is no significant difference, or it should be equal. And the alternative hypothesis always says that not equal. The average mark of the students of two colleges are not equal. So we got the data and we have framed the hypothesis also. Now we are going to give the coding for our variable, because here college X and the college Y is a qualitative variable. So we are going to identify, we are going to measure those, X and Y also. அப்போ qualitative variable நீங்க என்ன ஸ்கேல் வச்சு மெஷர் பண்ணலாம் அந்த இடத்துல? Nominal scale, only for identification purpose. College X ங்கிறது 1, college 2 ங்கிறது 2, college Y ங்கிறது 2, only for identification purpose. So variable coderல வந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படினா college X and Y are measured with the help of nominal scale. And what is the another one variable in our group, in our example, marks. So marks, so which scale can be used to calculate the marks? Ordinal. Ordinal means ranking. Independent illa. Scale. Interval. Interval having equal distance. Ratio. It's a continuous. Some students get marks random marks. Random marks are there. So continuous one. So in our example, we are having two set of data. The data we are having qualitative and quantitative. The quantitative data we are going to measure with the help of ratio scale, and qualitative data can be measured we are going to the help of nominal scale. So this is the first thing we should remember that. Okay. Enter பண்ணலாமா நம்ம? Enter பண்ணி work out பண்ணலாமா? SPSS open பண்ணிக்கோங்க. SPSS software open பண்ணிக்கோங்க மேம். ஓபன் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? நான் ஓபன் பண்ணிட்டேன். So here we are having two types of view. The first one is data view, the another one is variable view. And here only we are going to define our variables. The first variable is college, isn't it? Leah, college. So type is a numeric one. Just leave that. With decimal, leave that. Here. Sorry. college name, and here you are going to define that one for college X and two for college Y. Yes. And here in measurement column, we should give nominal. So in our example, one more variable is also is there. It's nothing but marks. So marks can be measured with the help of ratio scale. Go to measurement and give scale. Here the interval and the ratio are the same one. Scale கொடுத்திருக்கு பாத்தீங்களா? அதுல both interval இருக்கும் ratio இருக்கும். சரியா? அதனால நீங்க scale click பண்ணா போதும். data view போயிருங்க மேம். values மேம். values எதுல? இல்ல values இதுல தேவையில்லை. ஏன்னா அது குவாலிட்டேட்டிவ் வேரியபிள்ங்கறதுனால அதுக்கு நம்ம ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷன் காண்டி கொடுத்திருந்தோம் நம்ம. இதுக்கு அப்படி தேவையில்லை. வேல்யூஸ்ல போய் நம்ம கொடுக்கணும் அவசியம் கிடையாது. டேட்டா வியூ போயிடுங்க. say for example college x ஓட மார்க்ஸ் நான் என்டர் பண்றேன். காலேஜ் x வந்து 1 ன்னு மென்ஷன் பண்ணிருக்கேன். காலேஜ் y வந்து நான் 2 ன்னு மென்ஷன் பண்ணிருக்கேன். 2 ன்னு ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிருக்கேன். And marks scored from college X. Say for example, so 10 students from college X, 10 students from college Y. So these are all the marks scored by the college X and followed by that college Y. Implementing go to analyze, compare mean, select independent sample t-test, and here, so which variable we are going to test? Marks. Select it and move into the test variable box. And here the grouping variable is called colleges. Select college, move into the grouping variables. And here the question will be arise, define groups. So here we are going to define that college X is defined as 1 and college Y is defined as 2. View that and go to option. Here option fitting la ma'am ellarum மறுபடியும் சொல்ல சரி analyze and start பண்ணிடுங்க. So go to analyze, select compare means, from that select independent sample t-test. Here we are having two boxes. The first one is test variable box, the another one is grouping variable box. We are going to test the marks. So choose that and move into right hand side and select college, move into grouping variable box. Again we are going to define the group, 1 for college X and 2 for college Y. Any questions ma'am? Over. Go to option. Here The default interval percentage, confidence interval level percentage is 95. You know that change பண்ணிக்கலாம். What do you mean by that 95? Confidence interval. What do you mean by confidence interval? இல்ல. Actually, in social science research, define கேக்குது அது 1 2 select பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Actually, in social science research, we used to give some space for error. 100% accurate statistics வந்து எதுலயுமே இருக்காது. We used to give some space for errors. அப்போ the error level, I am 95% I am confident that in my study only 5% chances of error is in my study, or 1% or 5% or 10%. In social science research we can go up to 20 to 30, but pure science research we can't go like that. 1% error இருந்தாலும் suppose ஒரு வேக்சின் டெவலப் பண்ணுவோம், அது 99% error இருந்தாலும் அது என்ன ஆகும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா வேக்சின்ல ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை இருக்கு அப்படின்னா ஆள் இறந்துருவாங்க இல்லையா? Yes, 99.9%. So in social science we used to give some space for errors. It depends upon the researcher and the guide. Adula vandu pathina 95%. I am 95% confident that my data is very correct one. I am giving 5% of error. I'll go to continue. Bootstrap action. Now you don't want to go for bootstrap. You just give OK. Yes. Yes, we have two results. The first one is group statistics. Group statistics. In college X, we have taken 10 sample, and college Y, we have taken 10 sample, and the mean value of college X, our marks scored by the students, is 62.100, and college Y is 63.50, and standard deviation. What do you mean by standard deviation? Yes, deviation from the mean. It should be standard or it should be very large. The question is which have answered. The deviation should be standard. It should not be spread long or spread. It should be standard level. Then error also. Error also should be very limited one. Then another one. Here the independent sample t-test box, and this is the t-test value. This is degrees of freedom. This is significance value. Some of the researchers use the sig value. They will use to say that sig value, or some of the research significance value. So in some researchers used to tell that p value. P value. It's nothing but probability value. So here the sig value is 0.841. So based upon the sig value, we are going to accept or we are going to reject the null hypothesis. Normally, we are giving class interval 95%, isn't it? So we are giving 5% error. That means that 0.05. If the result, the sig value is less than 0.05, what should we do? We should accept the null hypothesis or we should accept the alternate hypothesis. If it is less than 0.05, accept? No, ma'am. We should accept alternate hypothesis. There is a significant difference. Here we can say that there is no significant. The average marks scored by the college X and Y are equal. Yes. Reject the null hypothesis. Here, the condition is that decision is that reject the null hypothesis if sig value is less than 0.05. நமக்கு sig value எவ்வளவு கிடைச்சிருக்கீங்க? Significance value எவ்வளவு கிடைச்சிருக்கு? 0.847. It is greater than 0.05. So we should accept the null hypothesis and reject the alternative hypothesis, and stated that the marks scored by the college A, college B students are average marks are equal. There is no much difference between particular marks, and the average mark differences in that. So based upon that, we are accepting and we are rejecting the null hypothesis and come to conclusion there is no difference between the average marks scored by the college X and college Y. Okay, any doubt irukka ungalku?
We usually compare the t value and the sigma value.
அது நம்ம old method மேம். SPSS ல வந்து அது இல்ல மேம். we sigma value வச்சு பார்த்தாலே தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். நம்ம வந்து வந்து டேபிள் வேல்யூல எடுத்து கம்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். கால்குலேட்டட் வேல்யூ வித் டேபிள் வேல்யூ கம்பேர் பண்ணி பார்ப்போம். Statistics we do, I mean SPSS we don't want to go for comparing those things and all. With the help of that sigma value, we can able to identify whether it is accepted or rejected.
Whenever the sigma value is less than or equal to 0.05,
we can accept.
We can accept
Alternate hypothesis. It depends upon the researcher, ma'am. Some of the researcher give space for only 1% of error. அப்ப அதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா 99% கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் இன்டர்வல் இருக்கு. இங்க 95% போட்டதனால 5% எரர். ரொம்ப சிம்பிள். பையன் ஓடியாரா, அம்மா நான் மேத்ஸ்ல 195 மார்க் பா அப்படிங்கறான். So what it means that 5 marks எரர் விட்டுருக்கான். அதே மாதிரி தான் இதுல 5% எரர் இருக்கு. அதனால 5% லெவல் ஆஃப் சிக்னிஃபிகன்ஸ்ல பார்க்கணும். சப்போஸ் எனக்கு 1% லெவல் ஆஃப் சிக்னிஃபிகன்ஸ்ல பார்க்கணும்னா 1% less than 0.01. 0 வந்து கீழ இருக்கு sig value. 0.1, 0.5, 0.10, 0.15, 0.20.
This sig value, how it is calculated?
Based on the
table value or t value. We are familiar with the table value.
Table value. Here we don't want to go for refer the table value and all, man. Based upon the t-test value and degrees of freedom, automatically the sig value is calculated by the software.
Any ideas on how it is calculated?
I have no idea, man. Sig value, with the help of the sig value, we can be able to identify whether it is accepted or rejected. So this is one example from our social science research side, and I have some more example. Yeah, in biological side also I have some example. Yes. Here I am having biological example like weight changes of 12 rats after being subjected to a regimen of forced exercise. Each weight changes in milligram. Sorry, this one sample is independent. Yes. Here the weight of here the weight of 10 bigs were when brought into the laboratory, and after 1 month were recorded in the following table. Calculate and concluded whether the gain in weight statistically significant or not. ஒரு பிக் சரியா? அப்ப கோடட் வேரியபிள் என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா இந்த பிகினிங்ல எவ்வளவு வெயிட் இருந்துச்சு, 1 month கழிச்சு மெஷர் பண்ண மொத்தத்துல என்ன வெயிட் இருந்துச்சு. சார் மந்த் இஸ் டிஃபரண்ட். அது வந்து என்ன பண்ண போறோம், கோடிங் பண்ண போறோம். அடுத்து அதுல என்ன வெயிட் வந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா we are going to measure the weight with the help of ratio scale. And here I mean college போட்டுக்கனா sorry. And here the month is the I mean that the month is going to measure with the help of nominal scale. Same things only. Entering data, go to compare means independent sample t-test, and here define that, and this is the interpretation. The result பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா we can see the sig value. here the sig value is 0.062 something, 0.06. So 5% level significant கிடையாது, but we can say that 10% it is significant. 0.06. அப்ப நான் கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் இன்டர்வல் எவ்வளவு விட்டுருப்பேன்? 95 விட்டுருப்பேன். 95 விட்டா 5% பார்க்கலாம். Suppose என்னுடைய கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் இன்டர்வல் லெவல் நான் 90 விட்டுருந்தேன் அப்படினா, now I am accepting the null hypothesis. Here the value is 0.062. And one more example is also I am having the data human blood clotting time. Individuals are blood clotting time இருக்கு. drug A யூஸ் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் blood clotting time இருக்கு and drug B யூஸ் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் blood clotting time என்ன இருக்கு. So with the help of that I am going to measure whether there is a difference between drug A and drug B. The same one, independent sample features I have used the average blood clotting time of drugs A and B are equal. For alternate hypothesis, average blood clotting time of two drugs A and B are not equal. So this is my null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. And this is the result. Yeah, here I have got the sig value 0.024. 0.024, it is less than 0.05. So here, what the decision we will take? What type of decision we will take? Whether we are going to accept the alternate hypothesis or reject the alternate hypothesis. Yeah. Reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis. So there is a difference between drug A and drug B regarding the blood clotting time. There is a big significant difference between the two drugs. So these are all the examples for independent sample t-test. And if you have any doubt, please raise your questions. F value. Now actually we are having the limits test equality of variance, ma'am. We should not consider the first one. We should consider the equal variance not assumed. Equal variance assumed in particular that row we cannot consider. We should not consider that. We should consider the equal variance if it is equal variance is not assumed. So that column only, that row only we should consider. The t-test value, degrees of freedom, and sig value. So independent sample t-test, the limits test box will be up here. The limits test are used for info. We should not consider the first one. We should consider the second one. So this is based on the biological example. This is based on the biological example. So according to your discipline, you can use this independent sample t-test wherever it is possible. Any doubt? Yes. So another type of test, per sample t-test. Per sample. Here, there is no different types of sample. I mean that the population, the sample population is same. In independent sample t-test, college A, college B, male, female, like that we are comparing. We were compared, and here the population is the same group, but before treatment, after treatment is going, we are going to apply. Okay then. So the per sample t-test. The population is the same population. We are going to treat that before and after. So before giving the training program, what is the score got? And after giving the training program, the level of score. Before giving the particular type of coaching method, what will be the output? After giving that, what will be the output? The population is the same one. So this is called as per sample t-test. So in the field of history, we can use the per sample t-test also. I am giving some of the examples, like historian can use the per sample t-test to compare the data collected before and after significant historical events such as wars, economic reforms, or political changes and their impact. So in history field, you can use the per sample t-test in this area. And evaluating the policy effects, assessing the impact of historical policy by comparing the metrics, employment rate, trade volumes before and after policy changes. And another field also is there in history, cultural and the social shift. Examine the shift in cultural and social practices by comparing artifacts and literature or other cultural output from different time periods but from the same source of community. ஒரே கம்யூனிட்டில different time periods அவங்களோட cultural changes எப்படி இருக்குதுங்கறத பார்க்கலாம். And in the field of English, also we can apply the per sample t-test. Like the areas are pre and post instruction assessment, evaluating effectiveness of particular teaching method, comparing the students' performance on the test before and after instruction. Nowadays there are different types of teaching methods are available. So before applying the first treating method, what is the level of IQ from the students? After giving the teaching method, what will be the level of IQ? We can use it at. And writing improvement, comparing the quality of students writing samples before and after specific writing intervention workshop. So before giving the workshop, what is the writing? What was the writing level? After giving the workshop, after attending the workshop, what is the level of writing level? So in this areas also, we can apply the per sample t-test in English. And reading comprehensions, assessing the impact of reading programs by comparing students' reading comprehension score before and after implementing new reading technique. So here also you can use, and vocabulary appreciation also we can use. And for learning tool, comparative, metallic activity, vaccine study, evaluating the immediate response to vaccine by comparing antibody levels in subject before and after vaccination. In the COVID before vaccination, after vaccination, environmental impact is also there. Then information technology, we can also use the per sample t-test, software performance, comparing the performance of software application before and after, or optimizing or update by measuring the metrics by execution of time, memory usage, etc. Then usability testing, evaluating changes in user experiences by comparing usability metrics like task completion time, error rate, etc. before and after redesign the interface of application. So here also we can use the per sample t-test. And in security enhancement, user training, software development also we can use. And in the field of sports, like assessing the effectiveness of new training program by comparing athlete performance. Here there are number of methods of training programs are available in sports. Yoga also one of the method, and the fitness is also one of the method. So we can compare the methods with the help of the per sample t-test. And the nutritional intervention, by giving nutritional food, we can measure that. And psychological training in sports, we can measure that. Then game strategy also one of the best example. So in these areas also we can use the per sample t-test. Then skill development, comparing the progress in specific skills like shooting accuracy, batting average by measuring athlete performance before and after focused training session. Normally all the sources and research, the per sample t-test we can apply. I have given some example. Like in sociology, social aptitudes and behavior, comparing survey responses before and after major societal event or changes to assess shift in social attitude or behavior. Like some other places, marketing research also we can use as In criminology, comparing recidivism rate or behavioral measure before and after participating rehabilitation program to determine their effectiveness. So criminology நம்ம என்ன செய்யலாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். And particularly பாத்தீங்க அப்படினா marketing researchல பாத்தீங்கன்னா evaluating the changes in consumer behavior by consuming purchasing pattern or satisfaction level before and after market campaigns. So these are all the place we can use the per sample t-test. So mostly science subject also we can use the per sample t-test. In social sciences also we can use the per sample t-test. And here also I am having some example. This is the example. The HR manager of the company wants to compare the performance of two sales executives. Here you can watch that. Only we are going to measure the two sales executives, not more than two. Only two can be measured with the help of t-test. So sales from A and B, so I have stated the null hypothesis. There is no significant difference between the average sales of A and B. And alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference between average sales of A and B. So this is the input I have. This is the data I am having. So first week sales of A, average sales of A, and second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, sixth week. I have collected this data, and we can use. We can enter the data in the SPSS and we will get the result. Open Manikonda ma'am. SPSS file open Manikonda. Open your SPSS file. So here I am going to give the way I'm going to define the variable. Salesman. So here the sales value is in continuous number. So I am going to measure the continuous number with the help of ratio scale. Then another variable salesman A, another variable salesman salesman B. The sales value is a continuous series. So I am going to measure that sales value with the help of ratio scale. Go to data view. Here the salesman A, salesman B is there. Enter the data 24, 25, 56, 54, 55, 45, 56, 89, and 45, 54. And salesman B, 45, 65, 35, 85, 75, 25, 95, 85, 95, and 87. Go to analyze, compare mean, per sample t-test, and here select select salesman A and select B. Move into the third variable box. And here option is there. Here also the default confidence interval percentage is 95. Give OK. பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Data will come after this. Data view பாருங்க. இதே டேட்டாவை அப்படியே என்டர் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. எதுமா क्वेश्चन எந்த क्वेश्चन வேரியபிள் இருக்குங்க ஸ்கேல் பண்ணி என்ன கொடுத்தீங்க ரைட் டைப்ஸ் ஒன்னு நியூ இருக்குங்க டேட்டா என்டர் பண்ண முடியல முடிச்சிட்டீங்கன்னா இது இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் பேர்ல் சாம்பிள் டெஸ்ட் மெத்தட் கம்பேர் மீ பேர்ல் சாம்பிள் டெஸ்ட் and select ரெண்டுமே செலக்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க ரெண்டு சேல்ஸ்மேன் A and சேல்ஸ்மேன் B give okay நான் நம்பர் சொன்னா சொல்லட்டுமா மேம் காரணமா அடிக்கலாம் on the chat go to analyze compare mean per sample t-test and select salesman A and select salesman B. Move into that variable per variable box and give OK. And here we are having three tables values. The first one is per sample t-test. I mean that per sample statistics. It shows that the salesman A mean average sales value is 50.300 and salesman B is 69.2000 and number of sample taken, I mean number of sales taken from the salesman is 10 and from salesman B is also 10. The deviation from for salesman A, the deviation is 18.25 and salesman B is deviation is 25.62. And here we are having one more value, one more result box, per sample correlation. The significance value is 0.293. Anyway, we don't want to go for those things. We have to look into that per sample t-test value. Here, the t-test value is minus 2.355 and degrees of freedom is 9 and sigma value is 0.04. It is less than 0.05. So we are accepting the alternative hypothesis and stated that there is a significant difference between salesman A and salesman B regarding the sales in the particular month. And here some of the people may be asked, minus values come for t-test. ஆனா ஆக்சுவலா பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ஒரு பிளைண்ட் ரூல் t-testல பிளஸ் மைனஸ் ரூல் வந்தா அதை கன்சிடர் பண்ண வேண்டிய அவசியம் கிடையாது. So don't give more weightage for minus value. t-testல பிளஸ் மைனஸ் வந்துச்சுன்னா we don't want to give importance. So here the sig value is 0.04. So it is less than 0.05. So actually automatically we are accepting the alternative hypothesis and rejecting the null hypothesis and stated that there is a significant difference between salesman A and salesman B regarding the sales of the particular product in the particular month. So this is the example for per sample t-test. We can apply the t-test, the per sample t-test in number of fields also, in English, microbiology, in science also we can apply. Any doubt regarding the per sample t-test? Illa.
Question can get question.
Now keep it. So up to now we have discussed about applications of per sample t-test and independent sample t-test in various disciplines. And in this session we are going to how to apply the ANOVA in our research work. Actually, in ANOVA family, there are different types of ANOVAs are there. We are having one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA repeated measures, MANOVA, ANCOVA, MANCOVA. This is the t-test family, that ANOVA family. This is ANOVA family. One-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, repeated measures with the help of one-way ANOVA, MANOVA, ANCOVA, and MANCOVA. So it depends upon the nature of data, depends upon the topic what we have selected, the different applications will be used with our research work. Now at present we are going to deal about one-way ANOVA. And if you are coming for one-way ANOVA or ANOVA family, we should have more than two variables. Because in t-test we are comparing only the two variables. In ANOVA family we are going to compare more than two variables. So if you are going to compare the variable more than two variables means you should come for ANOVA. Then you will decide whether it may be a one-way ANOVA or two-way ANOVA, MANOVA, MANCOVA, ANCOVA. It's based upon our nature of data and quality of data, nature of studies. Here, before getting to that, I would like to say on example in Tamil. நிறைய பேர் கேட்டுப்பீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். போய் வந்தவங்க ஒரு சின்ன இது கிருஷ்ண பரமாத்மா கிருஷ்ணத்துல போய் ஒரு பக்தர் கேட்டிருக்காரு போல. கர்ணனும் கொடை நிறைய கொடுக்குறாரு, தர்மனும் நிறைய கொடை தான தர்மம் நிறைய பண்றாங்க. ஆனா கர்ணருக்கு மட்டும் ஏன் கொடை வல்லன்னு சொல்லி பேர் வந்துச்சு? ஏன் கர்ணனை மட்டும் கொடை வல்லன்னு கேட்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னு. சரி வாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கூட்டு போயிட்டு தர்மர்கிட்ட போய் கிருஷ்ணன் என்ன கேட்டிருக்காருன்னா, நான் ஒரு யானை வளர்க்க போறேன், எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் சந்தன கட்ட வேண்டியிருக்கு அப்படின்னு. அது டிசம்பர் டைம் போல, வின்டர் டைம் போல மழையில எல்லாமே நனைஞ்சிருச்சு. ஐயோ எல்லாமே இருக்கு கிருஷ்ண பரமாத்மா, ஆனா எல்லா மார்க்கெட்டையும் நனைஞ்சிருக்கு, உங்களுக்கு யானத்துக்கு ஒத்து வராது, மழையா வருமே, சாரி அப்படிங்கிறத இன்டேரக்டா சொல்லியிருக்காரு. அப்படி நேர கர்ணன் கூட்டு போயிருக்காரு. கர்ணன் இதே கேட்டு, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு யானை வளர்க்க போறேன், எனக்கு சந்தன கட்ட வேண்டியிருக்கு. கர்ணன் இதே பதில சொல்லிட்டு வெயிட் பண்ண சொல்லிட்டு டக்குன்னு கோராட்டி எடுத்துட்டு வந்து தன்னுடைய அரண்மனை கதவு எதுல செஞ்சிருந்தாங்க, சந்தன கட்டையில செஞ்சிருந்தாங்க, வெட்டி உடனே கையில கொடுத்தாங்க. சோ அதனால தானே ரெண்டு பேருக்குமே கொடுக்கணும்னு என்ன இருக்கு, ஆனா கொடுத்தது யாரு? கர்ணன். அதனாலதானே அவருக்கு கொடைவல்லன் பேர் இருக்கு. Why I am saying here is, ரெண்டு குரூப் ஆஃப் பாப்புலேஷன்ஸ் இருக்க மத்தில டிஃபரன்சஸ் இருக்கா இல்லையான்னு பார்த்தோம். இங்க 3 group of population, அதாவது 3 different sets of populations இருக்கு. இத கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது who is superior and who is first and who is second and who is third. அந்த ஒரு conditions வந்து இங்க அப்ளை ஆகும். So we are going to compare 3 population or 3 set of things, data at a time. One way compare. ரொம்ப simple, meaning வந்து ரொம்ப simple. Here also we are going to find the difference among the populations. But the population group is more than 2. T-test only 2 group of population. In ANOVA we are having more than 2 group of population. And we are going to find the differences only. We are going to find the differences only. And that one-way ANOVA can be applied in the field of history, like such as GDP, inflation rate, employment levels across different time periods or region. Other கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு நம்ம அப்ளை பண்ணலாம். And demographic data like in history ல வந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படினா comparing demographic variable like population growth rate, birth rate or mortality rate among different regions or time periods to understand the historical trends and variations. So history field ல இந்த மாதிரி இடத்துல வந்து you can apply the one way ANOVA. In English, in major English discipline, you can apply the one-way ANOVA like reading comprehension score among the students exposed to different types of reading material. Methods to determine which approach is most effective. So there are different types of reading materials are available. We are giving the material to the students and to measure their level, comprehensive level. So which teaching method or which reading material will be the good one or more effective அப்படிங்கறத நம்ம பார்த்துக்கலாம். Then analyzing the writing skill. Say for example, effectiveness of various writing program by comparing the students' writing score across different groups that use distinct writing intervention and curriculum. Then language acquisition field also we can apply. Language acquisition example, level of students learning English through different method like impression, traditional classroom method, and we are having online method also we are having. So with the help of these 3 methods, which method will be the best one for improving the language acquisition? Or the teaching method effectiveness also we can use. And in particular in microbiology, we can apply the one-way ANOVA to find that or to compare the growth rate of different microbial strain under various conditions. Different types of conditions la avരുടെ growth rate எப்படி இருக்குங்கறத பார்த்துக்கலாம். Metabolic studies la கூட யூஸ் ஆகும், like evaluating differences in metabolic activities by comparing production of metabolic across the various conditions and treatment. And probabilistic effectiveness, vaccine development, particularly in vaccine development, the one way we can apply the one-way ANOVA, like in the field of immune response induced by different vaccine candidate by the comparing antibody titers or other immune markers across the various group of it. So in microbiology, so these are all the field we can apply the one-way ANOVA. And in information technology, like software performance evaluation to compare the performance of different software version, different software updated versions irundha அதோட யூசேஜ் வேற இல்லையா. So software version analyzing the metrics such as execution time, memory usage or time across the multiple groups of peoples. Then one more field in information technology, network performance, assessing the effectiveness of different network configuration or protocol by comparing latency, output or packet loss across the various network setup. One more field also, one more area in IT, user experience studies. This is based upon, it's like a social science studies, evaluating user satisfaction for different interfaces or applications to determine which design performs best. And securities analysis also we can use the one-way ANOVA. And e-learning platform, in e-learning platform also we can use the one-way ANOVA. And particularly in sports also, in sports training program like speed, strength, endurance calculate பண்றதுக்கு we can use this one-way ANOVA. and nutritional intervention use பண்ணிக்கலாம். Performance in different conditions, like analyzing the athlete performance under various environmental conditions like different temperature. கொடைக்கானல்ல டெம்பரேச்சர் மாதிரி இருக்கும், இங்க ஒரு டெம்பரேச்சர் இருக்கும். கொடைக்கானல்ல போய் நம்ம வாலிபால் நார்மலா இங்க ஃபுட்பால் ஆடுற மாதிரி அங்க ஃபுட்பால் ஆட முடியாது. பிகாஸ் தி ஆக்சிஜன் லெவல் வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா it will be very low. So the performance வந்து எங்க எஃபெக்டிவா இருக்கும். அங்க ஆக்சுவலா பாத்தீங்கன்னா அதோட கேம் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜியே வேற மாதிரி. அங்க பூரா பாத்தீங்கன்னா என்ன இருக்குன்னா கோல்ஃப், ஹேண்ட்பால், டேபிள் டென்னிஸ் இந்த மாதிரி கேம்ஸ் அதிகமா இருக்கும். வாலிபால், பாஸ்கெட்பால் இருக்கும் சொல்றேன். So the environmental conditions also will affect the sports. I mean that the speed, the level will be affected. I mean that the environmental will affect the sports players also. And injury prevention, youth development, coaching techniques. There are number of coaching techniques available for each and every game. So we can apply the one-way ANOVA in sports field also. And come for the social science, in educational research we can use psychological studies. In sociology, comparing the social attitudes or behavior across different demographic groups such as age, gender, socioeconomic status to identify the significant differences. Actually, age, demographic groups like age, gender, and socioeconomic status, it will be influence all other variables. So you can use that in social science also. And voting behavior, analyzing the difference in voting behavior or political preference across the different region or different demographic groups. You might be known that in Kerala, the voting behavior of the people is completely different compared to Tamil Nadu. The same party will not be continued in Kerala. Every 5 years, the party will be changed. The voting behavior of the people will be changed. But in Tamil Nadu, continuously, a particular group of politicians will rule the Tamil Nadu. And in criminology, crime rate, comparing the crime rate or types of crime across the different neighborhoods or regions to identify the significant differences. So, based upon that region also, the crime rate will be different. In rural area, the types of crime is differ, and in urban area, the types of crime may be differ. So we can compare that also. Then in market research, consumer preferences, evaluating difference in consumer preferences like purchasing behavior across various demographic groups or market segments. In urban area, we used to go for supermarket. In rural area, we used to go for something. So there is a complete behavior, complete total changes behavior. So we can use the consumer preferences use panikalam. Advertising impact, comparing the effectiveness of different advertising campaigning by analyzing consumer response or sales metric across the multiple groups. நிறைய இருக்கும். என்னோட பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ராம்ராஜ் ஓனர் பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ஒரு தடவை வந்திருந்தாரு. நான் சொல்றது ஒரு 5 to 6 இயர்ஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி பாத்தீங்கன்னா கேஸ் ஸ்டடிஸ் ரிப்போர்ட்ஸ்க்காக வந்திருந்தாரு. நான் ஒரு கடையில இருக்கும் போது அவர் வந்திருந்தாரு. அந்த நேரத்துல தான் அவருடைய கேஸ் ஸ்டடிஸ் நடந்துச்சு. அவர் என்ன அனலைஸ் பண்ணாரு பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த நேரத்துல ராம்ராஜ்ல வந்து வெறும் ஒயிட் ஷர்ட் மட்டும் தான் இருக்கும். ஒயிட் ஷர்ட், ஒயிட் தோத்தி மட்டும் தான் இருக்கும். வேற எதுவும் அவங்க போடல. அவர் அனலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் என்ன வந்துச்சு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ப்ளூ கலர் ஷர்ட் போட்டோம்னா கீழே தோத்திலே என்ன ப்ளூ கலர் பார்டர் வச்சு வந்துச்சு. அடுத்த ஒரு அனலைசிஸ்ல தான் என்ன வந்துச்சு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ வெட்டிங் போடுறாங்க பாத்தீங்களா, சித்தப்பமாருக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரே அது கோல்டன்ல தோத்தி, கோல்டன்ல ஷர்ட்ஸ், அதுவே காப்பர்ல, அதுவே சில்வர்ல. சோ இந்த ட்ரெண்ட கொண்டு வந்தது எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதுதான் மார்க்கெட்டிங் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜில வந்து அப்படியே மாறிக்கிட்டே வந்துச்சு. There are number of marketing strategies there. It is based upon the research only we can able to identify. So in social science also we can use the one-way ANOVA or ANOVA family in different places. In the நிறைய places apply பண்றதுல நம்ம அப்ளை பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். Examples நிறைய இருக்கு. Say for example என்ன சொல்லலாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரேமண்ட் ஷோரூம் எங்க இருக்கு சொல்ல முடியுமா? Some of the place மதுரை, சென்னை, திருச்சி, கோயம்புத்தூர், metropolitan city like that. In Sivagasi, we are having Raymond stores. I was surprised. Yeah, Raymond showroom ஆரம்பிச்சீங்க நம்ம ஓனர் டேக். So before starting the showroom, he went for survey. அதாவது டெய்லரிங் கடைக்கு எல்லா கடைக்கும் போயிருக்காரு. எதிர்கடையில போய் so which branded material will come for stitching, whether it's Raymond's or some other brand. And they have got a data, more than 65% of the people are using Raymond's cloth. So it is better to start the Raymond showroom in Suradas. Raymond's is branded, costly. So normal metropolitan city, அல்லது ஒரு white collar job அதிகமா இருக்கக்கூடிய இடத்துல அந்த மாதிரி ஷோரூம் வச்சாங்க அப்படின்னா the movement வந்து அத sales வந்து increase ஆகும். So it depends upon the research. So எல்லாமே வந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா சோசியல் சயின்ஸ்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரிசர்ச் வச்சு எல்லாமே கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்காங்க. நான் ஒரு எங்க சொல்லிருப்பேன் எனக்கு ஐஸ்கிரீம் கப்பு கோன் ஐஸ்கிரீம் எப்படி வந்து சொல்லிருக்கேன் நம்ம கிட்ட சொன்னது இல்லையா? ஆக்சுவலா பீச் ஸ்டோரி அமெரிக்கன்ஸ்ல பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா வீக்கெண்ட் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றதுக்கு வந்து மேக்ஸிமம் வந்து பீச்சுக்கு போவாங்க, சீஷோர் போவாங்க. அப்ப அந்த சாட்டர்டே சண்டே பாத்தீங்கன்னா பயங்கர சீஷோர்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஐஸ்கிரீம் சாப்பிட்டு கப் மேக்ஸிமம் நிறைய ரீச் ஆகும். சோ அந்த சாட்டர்டே சண்டே முடிஞ்சதுன்னா அந்த மண்டே டு ஃப்ரைடே வீக்டேஸ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா அதுல அந்த ஐஸ்கிரீம் கப்பை க்ளீன் பண்றதுக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா they are spending much more amount of money. அப்போ அத வந்து எப்படி ஸ்டாப் பண்ணாங்கிறது தான் they conducted the research. அந்த ரிசர்ச் அவங்க கேட்டது தான் ஒரு சின்ன பிளேட் கேட்டிருக்காங்க, சும்மா கேஷுவலா கேட்டிருக்காங்க. இந்த வேஸ்டேஜ் குறைக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணலாம்? மற்றவங்க கேட்கும்போது நிறைய டஸ்ட்பின் வைங்க, அவேர்னஸ் கொடுங்க, வைங்க செய்யுங்க இருக்காங்க. அந்த கொட்டிப்புல என்ன சொல்லிருக்கு, ஐஸ்கிரீம் சாப்பிட்ற மாதிரி அந்த கப்பையும் சேர்த்து சாப்பிட்டா அந்த மாதிரி பொல்யூஷனே வராது அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. அப்ப கண்டுபிடிக்கப்பட்டதான் போன் ஐஸ்கிரீம். ஸோ சோசியல் சயின்ஸை பொறுத்தளவுக்கு பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த ரிசர்ச் ஆர் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் த ரிசர்ச். எல்லாமே வந்து என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா சர்வே ரிசர்ச்ல போய் based upon that they made a product. So in one way ANOVA, I am having an example how to work out the one way ANOVA. The manager of LED bulb company. You might be know that LED bulb is mostly, around all the places. LED bulb available in the market. The manager collected the data. அதாவது lifespan. இப்போ நம்ம LED bulb வாங்கணும்னா அது எழுதி கொடுப்பாங்கல்ல, 1 year வந்து வாரண்டி கேரண்டி கொடுப்பாங்க. அதுக்குள்ள ஃபியூஸ் ஆச்சுன்னா நம்ம ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்ல. அதே மாதிரி 3 different brands of LED bulbs available in the market. The manager collected the data of lifespan of LED bulb of brand A, B, C and measured in hundreds in hours during the 6-month periods. Adula I have framed the hypothesis for that the mean lifetime for the 3 LED bulbs are equal. So the null hypothesis always stated that there is no change. There is no differences. And alternative hypothesis, the mean lifetime of at least 2 brand of LED bulbs should be different. ஏதாவது ஒரு 2 பல்ப்ல 3 பல்ப்ல ஏதாவது ஒரு பல்பாவது கண்டிப்பா என்ன இருக்கும், லைஃப் ஸ்பேன் வந்து டிஃபரண்டா தான் இருக்கும். And here the brand is the qualitative variable. It's not a quantitative variable. It's a brand is the qualitative variable. So I'm going to measure that qualitative variable with the help of which scale? Nominal scale. So brand A is identified as 1, brand B will be identified as 2, and brand C will be identified as 3. So I have quoted that A, B, C, and I have another data also 21, 18, 12, some other data like this is the lifespan of the LED bulbs. So with this I'm going to apply how it will be work. Go to SPSS, open the SPSS file. Go to variable view. So first we will give the brand. So brand of LED, and here I am going to give the value, isn't it? So first one for LED from A company, and 2 for LED of B, and 3 for LED of C. So it's the qualitative data and it is measured with the help of scale. Nominal. Then another variable, lifespan. Lifespan of LED. The lifespan of LED it's a continuous data. The lifespan in terms of hours measures பண்ணிருக்காங்க. So it's come under ratio scale. We can use ratio scale to measure the lifespan of the LED bulb. Here, so 3 brands of LEDs, isn't it? So I have entered the value. நீங்க ஸ்பேஸ் விடாதீங்க நினைக்கிறீங்க மேம். நேம்ல ஸ்பேஸ் விடாம அடிங்க. ஸ்பெஷல் கேரக்டர் எதுவும் செட் பண்ணாத. So I have connected brand A. Brand A I have noted that 1, brand B I have noted that 2, brand C I have noted that 3. I have collected 5 samples from each brand. And in the next column, I am going to enter the lifespan of the LED bulb. Yes, in the unit of hours. Yes, I just enter the data. Just follow that. Yes. So this is the lifespan of LED brand A. Then this is LED brand B. And this is the data for LED brand of C. Enter பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? 15 datas. 5 from each brand. 5 from each brand. Over, man. Go to analyze, compare mean, and in the last one way ANOVA menu will be there. Click it that. Here, the lifespan of LED will be the dependent factor, and the brand of LED will be the factor. Transfer the brand of LED into the factor box, and lifespan should be transferred into dependent. And here we are having one more option. We are having post-hoc test. Post-hoc. Select post-hoc. In social science research, we used to select Ducky test. In science, the science people will be select Sheffy. Science people will be select Senthi, and maximum the result come from Senthi and Ducky will be the same one, or you can use the Duncan also. Go to option, click mean plot, means plot. Continue and give OK. Yes. So we have got the result. Here, the sig value is 0.350. It is greater than 0.05. So, what we conclude, we are accepting the null hypothesis or rejecting the null hypothesis? Huh? We are accepting the null hypothesis and stated that there is no significant difference between the lifespan of different LED. And I will give some more. But the mean plot shows that. So this is the mean plot. So this is the mean plot. With the help of the mean plot, we can identify that one LED brand A have mean lifespan of 60 hours. Brand B will be 70, I mean 68, and brand C will be more than 75. And the mean slot of mean slot options go to option, select mean slot. Options, mean slot. Click continue. The other table shows that there is no significant difference between the three brands of the bulb. But the mean class shows that LED bulb brand A company is having low mean value, then B, then C. And if you are comparing three LED brand C is better than brand A and brand B. But in ANOVA, it shows that there is a minimum difference between the lifespan of each brand. So that's why it's not significant. That's why it's not significant. But if you can show that in each plot, there is a little significant difference between the leading brands. And with the help of that, we can conclude brand C has more lifespan of LED compared to brand A and brand B. Yes, data entry of data entry. What's the data market? Now we scaling scaling market. First of the nominal right there. Then the ordinal ratio. Scaling. Brand is also nominal brand. Lifespan of the LED bulb on the ratio. So any doubts, sir? So any doubt regarding our ANOVA? So actually, so one participant raised the question. In post-work test, there are number of methods are available. Durkee, Duncan, Senthi. So actually, social science people used only Durkee or Durkee B or Duncan. Science people will be used Senthi. The result may be the same. To find the differences. Click பண்ணி பாருங்க டக்கி போட்டுட்டீங்கல்ல அதுல செஃபி போட்டுக்கோங்க செஃபி போடுங்க டக்கர் போடுங்க மூணுமே போடுங்க அந்த டயத்துல அதனால நம்ம என்ன செய்ய போறோம் மூணு வேரியபிள் தான் அப்ப மூணு வேரியபிள் நீங்க செலக்ட் பண்ணுங்க செஃபி டக்கன் டக்கி மூணுமே செலக்ட் பண்ணுங்க மூணுமே செலக்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க கிளிக் ஓகே கொடுத்துருங்க டக்கன் ஓகே கொடுங்க எஸ் அந்த மல்டிபிள் கம்பேரிசன் டேபிள் வருதா பாருங்க அதுல பாருங்க ரிசல்ட் மோஸ்ட்லி எல்லாமே சேமா தான் இருக்கும் சோ டக்கி யூஸ் பண்ணாலும் சரி டங்கன் யூஸ் பண்ணாலும் சரி the result may be the same one உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப டிஃபரன்சஸ் இருக்காது so as per my knowledge most of the science people will be used Senthi Duncan and Ducky social science people will be used I went through the number of articles so articles the social science research la pathina Ducky and Duncan la adhigama use பண்ணிருக்காங்க so mostly எல்லாமே same result தான் நமக்கு nearby that. So any doubt ma'am? Any doubt? இல்ல அனவா அன்கோவெல்லாம் படிச்சா வீட்டுக்கு போக மாட்டேன் பயங்கர கன்ஃபியூஸ் ஆயிடும் ஸ்கிராட்ச்ல வந்து ஒன்மே அனவா போதும் நமக்கு மோஸ்ட்லி எல்லா இடத்துலயும் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம் yes the next one will be the relationship test the relationship test எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கனாலே there are different types of tests are there correlation analysis simple linear regression multiple linear regression logistic regression polynomial regression Spearman rank correlation and one more Pearson coefficient, Pearson correlation coefficient. So these are all the tests we used to conduct for relationship. How the two variables are highly correlated, or how the variables are correlated, whether it is positive correlation or negative correlation. So to find out so we are going to discuss the correlation. So before entering into the correlation, we must identify that whether the variable we have chosen for conducting the correlation is meaningful or not. If you are giving the shoe production and agriculture production, the result will be good. Given by, the SPSS result will be produced. But there is no relationship between shoe production and agriculture production. So before giving, before selecting the correlation or before giving the variable in correlation, you should understand whether the variables are having a meaningful relations or not. If you are not giving that type of meaningful relation, the correlation will be the nonsense correlations. So first we should be identified. I have some story. Correlations can have stories in it. All those stories. Friend வந்து அப்பதான் வந்து ஃபோர்ட் கம்பெனில ஒரு கார் வாங்குறாரு. கார் வாங்கிட்டு அமெரிக்கால கார் வாங்கிட்டு he used to go for work by car. So before go for work, he used to go for ice cream parlor and having vanilla ice cream flavor. After having that ice cream flavor, he come and start the vehicle. It will be start automatically. Some days he will have a strawberry ice cream. After taking the strawberry ice cream, he come and start the car. The car will not be immediately start. It will take time. It will take 2 or 3 or 4 times. You have to take. You have to try. So he raised the questions in company. என்ன நான் வெண்ணிலா ஃப்ளேவர் சாப்பிட்டா பிடிக்காதா? வெண்ணிலா ஃப்ளேவர் சாப்பிட்டா தான் உங்க காருக்கு பிடிக்குமா? இது சாப்பிட்டா பிடிக்காதா? ஸ்ட்ராபெரி சாப்பிட்டா பிடிக்காதா? Whether it's correct or not, whether it's having a meaningful relationship, vanilla ice cream ko strawberry ice cream ko காசு காட்டாத meaningful relationship இருக்கா? There is no relationship. But actually என்ன பண்ணலாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா vanilla ice cream flavor வந்து பக்கத்துல இருக்குமா? So காரோட இன்ஜின் சூடு வந்து அதே அளவு இருக்கும். ஐஸ் கிரீம் சாப்பிட்டு போய் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணோனே இன்ஜின் ஹீட் எப்படி மெயின்டைன் ஆகுறதா டக்குனு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும். ஸ்ட்ராபெரிங்கிறது வந்து ஐஸ் கிரீம் பார்லர்ல லாஸ்டா இருக்கும். ஸோ அங்க போயிட்டு சாப்பிட்டு வரவங்க இன்ஜின் ஹீட் வந்து ரெடியூஸ் ஆயிடுது. அகைன் இட் வில் டேக் டைம் டு ஸ்டார்ட். ஸோ இதுதான் ஆக்சுவலா ஒரு டிஸ்டன்ஸ் பிட்வீன் அந்த பிளேஸ்க்கும் இந்த காருக்கு மட்டும்தான். பட் ஹி ரைஸ் த கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் அகைன்ஸ்ட் லைக் தட். So this is called as a nonsense relationship or nonsense correlations. And one more example is also is that the winter time ஒரு போலீஸ்கார் போய் டாக்டர் போய் எஸ்ஐ கிட்ட சொல்லிட்டாரு, சார் I have identified that there is a significant correlation between weather condition and theft taken in that particular region. சார் வெதருக்கும் theft என்ன சார் சம்பந்தம் இருக்கு அப்படின்ட்டாரு. இல்ல சார் நல்லா பாருங்க, வின்டர் டைம்ல பூரா திருட்டு இல்லவே இல்லை, சம்மர் டைம்ல தான் சார் திருட்டு அதிகமா இருக்கு. whether it's having any relationship, but in deep பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா வின்டர்ல நம்ம எல்லாரும் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா கதவை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிருப்போம், ஜன்னலை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிருப்போம். சம்மர் டைம்ல பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா it will be open. There will be chances for more theft. So this is a relationship. But முதல்ல சொன்னது வந்து என்னது கிடையாது, relationship. அப்போ before selecting the variable for correlation, we should be very clear about that particular variable, whether it's having a meaningful relations or not. Meaningful relationship or not. Then only we can go for the correlation test. Yes, ma'am. The correlation relationship between two variables. The meaning of correlation is nothing but the relationship between the two variables. The correlation application in the field of history, like social changes. The second one, paranga, social changes, education and social mobility. Investigating the correlation between educational attainment and the social mobility in different historical contexts. So educational attainment ko social mobility ko there is a strong relationship. எப்பெல்லாம் எங்கெங்கெல்லாம் எஜுகேஷன்ஸ் வந்து அதிகமா இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகிட்டே இருக்குதோ அங்கெல்லாம் மொபிலிட்டி வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும் கண்டிப்பா மாறிக்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கும். அடுத்து பாருங்க urbanization and crime rate. Relationship between urbanization and crime rate during the period of rapid urban growth. You might be know that இப்போ சென்னையிலலாம் ஏன் கிரைம் ரேட் கூடிக்கிட்டே இருக்கு அப்படின்னா அர்பனைசேஷன் நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்கு. ஒரு காலத்துல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா பாரிஸ்ல பஸ் ஸ்டாண்ட் இருந்துச்சு, அடுத்து கோயம்பேடுல சொன்னாங்க, இப்ப எங்க வந்துருச்சு கேலாம்பக்கம் வந்துருச்சு. அப்போ என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா அந்த எக்ஸ்டென்ஸ் ஆஃப் அர்பனைசேஷன் வந்து என்னதாகிட்டு இருக்கு, அர்பனைசேஷன் வந்து அதோட எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் வந்து கூடிக்கிட்டே இருக்கு. ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா கிரைம் ரேட்ஸ் என்ன ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும் கூடிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும். There is a strong relationship between urbanization and crime rate. அடுத்து cultural history also we can use that. And in the field of English, investigating the relationship between different instructional method like traditional lecture, creative writing workshop, and improvement in students writing. How the workshop will be benefited. And exploring the correlation between students' languages use and their engagement with the social media platform. இப்ப நிறைய வந்துருச்சு இல்லையா, இங்கிலீஷ் லாங்குவேஜ் டெவலப் பண்றதுக்கு நிறைய ஆப் வந்துருச்சு. ஏன் நம்ம காலேஜ்ல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இங்கிலீஷ் லேப் இருக்கு. So with the help of social media platform வச்சு how they develop their English language skills. There is a strong relationship. And teachers qualification and students. So years of experience of teaching qualification, teachers qualification and the level of students. So experience ஆன டீச்சர்ஸ் இருக்க மொத்தல அவங்க ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் ஓட அவுட்புட் ஓட லெவல் வேற இருக்கும், பிகினர்ஸ் ஓட இருக்க மொத்தல அவுட்புட் ஓட லெவல் வேற இருக்கும். And in the field of IT, examine the correlation between network bandwidth and latency to understand how increasing the bandwidth affect the latency. And in cyber security, analyze the correlation between the number of cyber security incident and the response time to mitigate the threats. அந்த ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் டைம் எப்படி இருக்கு அதுக்குள்ள அதை கார்லேட் பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். நம்ம செக்யூரிட்டி மெஷர்ஸ் அண்ட் பிரீச் frequency. Examine the relationship between the implementers of security measures like firewall, encryption, and the frequency of security breaches. Users experience வச்சு பார்க்கலாம். Correlation between the interface designing model, layout, color scheme, and the user satisfaction எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கலாம். And in e-commerce, you can say that correlation between the number of product view on an e-commerce site and the sales conversation rate. அது ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் e-commerce இல்லையா. ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் நம்ம கடைக்கு போனோம்னா 10 ப்ராடக்ட் பார்ப்போம், அதே ஆன்லைன் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்ல ஒரு 1000 ப்ராடக்ட் பார்த்து செலக்ட் பண்ணலாம். சோ நம்பர் ஆஃப் ப்ராடக்ட் வியூ பண்றதுக்கும் அவங்க எத்தனை ப்ராடக்ட் வாங்குறாங்கங்கிறதுக்கும் there is a strong relationship. So we can use in this fields also. In microbiology, we are having the frequency of antibiotic uses and the development of antibiotic resistance in bacterial population. அதோட correlations check பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். And relationship between environmental temperature and growth rate of different microbial strain. குங்குமம் பூல நம்ம ஊர்ல வளர்க்க முடியாது, ஏன் காஷ்மீர் குங்குமம் சொல்றாங்க, அந்த வெதர் கண்டிஷன்ஸ்க்கு தான் அது என்ன ஆகும், ஒரிஜினலா இருக்கும், குவாலிட்டி இருக்கும், குவாண்டிட்டி இருக்கும், எல்லாம் எவ்ரிதிங் will be there. அத கொண்டு போய் நம்ம சிவகாசிலேயோ விருதுநகர் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட்ல வளர்க்க முடியுமா, முடியாது. So there is a temperature, weather condition is also most important. Then examining the relationship between population density and the spread of infectious diseases caused by microorganism. இது நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சதா, டே பை டே லைஃப்ல we used to cross that. Wherever the population is high, the pollution is also high. In Delhi, nearly 900%, 900 decimal நினைக்கிறேன். Actually normal pollution வந்து 300 க்கு மேல போனாலே danger. But in Delhi 900 decimals இருக்குதா. So the reason behind that the population is high, industrialization is high, urbanization is high. So there is a strong relationship between, a strong correlation between what we can say, the population density and the pollution. So that there is a significant correlation. Then application in the field of sports, relationship between training loads and the incidence of injuries. So if you are giving more training again and again, automatically the chances of injury also will be increases. Then diet and recovery, weather and performance, mental training and performance, stress level. So these are all the way we can apply in sports, in the field of sports. And we are having in social science also we can apply like students' performance, parental involvement and student success, income and quality life. Whenever the income is high, the standard of living will be also high. Whether income is low, the standard of living will be low. The standard of living, income is high, the standard of living will be very high. And social media use the social connectivity, like relationship between social media usage pattern and strength of social connection. Political party correlation between education level and the likelihood of political participation, such as voting or civic engagement. And crime rate, examine the correlation between the socio-economic status and crime rate in different communities. So this is based on community level study. Then consumer spending and economic indicator, correlation between consumer spending habit and the economic indicator like unemployment rate and inflation. So these are all the variables are having highly correlated, and there are meaningful correlation, meaningful relationship variables. So we can use this variable for correlation purposes. Work-life balance, exploring the relationship between work-life balance policies and job satisfaction among the employee of different genders. So normally there may be a difference of opinion of work-life balances among male and female. Yeah. So female will be suffer more. They should engage in remuneration activities and also in weekly basic homework. So the work-life balance we use panikala. So these are all the field, or these are all the research area, research. What we can say, research place. We can use the correlation analysis. I have given some example. I will give some example. Yes, the common example I have got it from the net. The researchers want to find out the relationship between level of consumption, income, and savings. Here, my consumption is completely depends upon my income, and my savings completely depends upon my income. So there is a high correlation between income, consumption, and the savings. So I am having some data. So for that purpose, I have framed the hypothesis like there is no significant relationship between here the relationship. There is no differences. Here we have to mention the word relationship. There is no significant relationship between consumption expenditure, income, and savings. And the alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant relationship. I have some data. Please open the SPSS file. So before entering into that data, you should note that here income is measured in the terms of thousands. It's a ratio scale. And a consumption, thousands. It's also in ratio scale. In savings, it's also in ratio scale. So here there is no need for, no chances for nominal or ordinal scale. Okay. Open SPSS file. Open SPSS file and enter this data. So variable viewer, what you are going to do? Variable viewer by income label the income and the measures by ratio. Scale select likewise consumption and savings.
The income and the data.
So, income, consumption, savings. I hope you entered the data. Over, man. Go to analyze. Go to analyze. Select correlate and select bivariate correlation. Select all the variables and transfer into that variable box. So we have the data, and the data were measured with the help of ratio scale. Suppose we will have the data in ordinal scale, we will go for Spearman correlation. Option is there. Here we don't want to go for Spearman correlation, we can go for Pearson correlation because the data is in the form of ratio scale. If it is in the form of ordinal scale, we should go for Spearman rank correlation. So we are going for Pearson correlation. Just OK, give OK. Here the results are. Height, how it will be? Income. There is a strong relationship between income and consumption. 0.930. So what is the correlation value? Correlation lies between -1 to +1. Closer to 1, it is a highly correlation. Closer to minus, it's a negative correlation. Here, see that income and consumption is 0.930. It's closer to 1. So we can say that there is a high positive correlation between income and consumption. But look into that second column. But look into the seventh column. The savings is 0.789. How you can interpret that? Positive correlation. Why the value is very less compared to consumption? Why the saving value is very less compared to the consumption value? Because saving will be happen after consumption. First, we will allot money for consumption purpose. Then the remaining amount will be go for savings. So that's why the value will be less compared to the consumption amount. So we can conclude that there is a strong relationship between income, consumption, and savings. Highly correlated. Highly correlated. And we are having one more options. Yes, partial correlation. Partial correlation. Here, I am going to control one variable. That means that I am going to control or constant. The value is called savings. Now, savings is பண்ணல. இப்போ என்னுடைய இன்கத்துக்கும் கன்சம்ஷனுக்கும் correlation போட்டு பார்க்கிறேன். Savings நில்லா வச்சுக்கிட்டேன், கான்ஸ்டன்டா வச்சுக்கிட்டேன். There is no savings in my side. Control factor வச்சுக்கிட்டேன். ரெண்டு ஃபேக்டர் தான். என்னோட இன்கத்துக்கு கன்சம்ஷனுக்கு மட்டும் போட்டு பார்க்கிறேன். இப்போ எனக்கு எவ்வளவு வருது? The relationship எப்படி இருக்கு? 0.890. So compared to the first table consumption எப்படி இருந்துச்சு? 0.9. Here எவ்வளவு வந்திருக்கு? 0.890. This is a difference. So partial correlation. So in production field, so in correlation, we can control any one of the variable and we can correlate other variables also. So like savings, we can control the consumption expenditure. Let's see that. Analyze, correlate, partial correlation. Remove this one and this one. Here the controlling variable is consumption. I'm going to calculate income and my savings correlation values. Here my saving value is 0.644, 0.7 something. So this is a relationship. Any doubts? Any doubt in that area? Otherwise, we will go for regression.
No doubt, sir. No doubt, sir. கேள்வி கேட்கறது அதான் இப்போதான் நோ டவுட்ஸ். Any doubts in getting? No doubts in chat.
உண்மையிலேவா? இல்ல உண்மையிலே அவங்க டவுட்ஸ் இல்லை.
தெலுங்கானா படிச்சு.
தெலுங்கானாவா? Okay man. We will go for regression. Lunch ரெடியா இருக்கு. ஒரு 10 minutesல கொஞ்சம் ஃபாஸ்டா பார்த்துட்டு கூட போயிடலாம். So, very simple. Correlation means comparing two variables. Regression means comparing not two variables, more than two variables. Correlation means comparing two variables at the time. Regression means comparing more than two variables at the time. Here I have some example, and the regression also applicable in all the fields like history. In English also we can apply, and in sports also we can apply, in social science research, and we can say that in microbiology, information technology, there are number of places are there in microbiology and information technology. We can apply the correlation regression technique. We will straightly go to the problems. Here I have some data regarding about an educational institute want to build a regression model to decide the salary structure of the teachers on the basis of experience in the year, number of book published, number of journal published, additional qualification, and the number of project handled. So these are all the independent variable. Salary is the dependent variable. Your salary will be depends upon years of experience, number of books written, number of journals, article published in journals, number of training program attended, and number of project taken from the UGC or funding agency. So these are all the independent variable. One blind rule in regression: don't take more than 6 independent variables. Try to limit your independent variables. It may be 4, 5 means it will be so good. 5 to 6 means it will be so good. If you are taking more than 6 variables, 7 variables, 8 variables means automatically there are number of econometrics problem like multicollinearity, heteroceracity, homoceracity problem will be rises, because each and every data will be collinearity problem. So we should clear the data. After that only we can apply into the regression model. So one blind rule: don't take much independent variable in regression analysis. So blind rule. Okay. So this is the salary in lakhs, in thousands, years of experience in years, books in numbers, journals in numbers, training in numbers, project in numbers. All the variables are ratio scale. All the variables are measured with the help of ratio scale. Here there is no chances for ordinal, there is no chances for nominal. All the variables are continuous variable. We can measure with the help of ordinal, ratio scale. Go to SPSS file. நானே என்ட்ரி பண்ணி காமிச்சிடுறேன். So first one is salary, second one is experience, third one is number of books, article published in the journals, training program attended. The last one, project handled. So here all the variables are measured with the help of ratio scale. Go to analyze, regression. Here, enter பண்ண போறீங்களா?
Data enter
பண்ணுங்க ஒண்ணும் பிரச்சனை இல்ல. Enter the data. Data entry பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Go to analyze. இத முடிச்சவங்க போங்க. முடிச்சிட்டீங்களா? entry பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? entry பண்ணி முடிச்சிட்டீங்களா சொல்லுங்க. go to analyze. data உதாரணமா ஒரு நெட்ல ஒரு காப்பி பண்ணி கூட ஆன்சர் பண்ணிடலாம்.
random data random. Linear. Here, salary is the dependent variable, isn't it? Your salary depends upon your years of experience, books written, article published in journals, training program attended, and project handled. And go to statistics. No need to change anything. Go to option. Here also no need to change. Give OK. Yes. Here, before looking into the result, we should note that, that the model summary, we should look into that. Here we are having R value and R square value. R value and R square value. If the R value and R square value will be more than 60%, 0.6 or 0.6 above, the model is a correct fit. The R and R square tells that how the dependent variable very close to the independent variable. If it is not closed, not very closed, the value, the R square and R value will be very less. So here, all the independent variables are very close to each other with salary. So that's why the R square value is very high, 0.991. And here we are having one more ANOVA table value. Here the value is significant, 0.000. And we have the main values. Here you can look into that. Here, so among 5 independent variable, book is significantly differ, 0.0 to 8. That means that less than 0.05. Sorry, experience is less than 0.05. That is a significant, that what we can say that. Salary based upon first என்ன criteria பண்ணிருக்காங்க experience criteria தான். மத்ததெல்லாம் என்ன இருக்கு? There is no significant values. 0.98, 0.980, 0.775, 0.309, 0.277. So here the salary will be fixed based upon your experience. So we can build the model like that. We can build the model like that. So this is called as regression method. I will give the material in net. You can go through that. Everything will be there. Interpretation. I will show that. A step by step workout. That windows and the result and how we can interpret the result and what is the interpretation from that regression analysis. Everything I have given in that that in Word file. You go through that. Thank you.